So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. It's is it Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, I do believe so. Yeah, it was a Tuesday, kind of a Tuesday day. But wow, we got a 2016 Casa Villarreal, and this is a 2016 Garnacha Tempranillo, and I am really super excited about it. I mean, first of all, this thing is coming up on 10 years, and so why not open it and take a crack at it, right? On the nose, it's just a cassis. Very elegant with a lot of I've forgotten the English word for them, but Johannisbeeren is what I smell here, along with some blueberries. It is really quite stunning on the nose. And a little bit of tobacco. Got some strawberry, the cassis, working its way through on the palate. I want to say there's some melon, but this sounds odd.
Did you hear me?
Currants. Johannisbeeren. Currants. Thought I smelled that. Of course. Thank you, sweetheart. I was like, what about them? Oh, yeah, that's Johannisbeeren. Okay, thank you. I really thought I had some anise on the nose, but I honestly think it's eucalyptus. Very lovely. It's very subtle, though. But it's coming right on through. This is right at about 62 degrees Fahrenheit, so I would say 15, 16 degrees centigrade Celsius. But a wonderful serving temperature for this one. Very much a sun-kissed joy, this one here. Lovely. And believe it or not, less than 20 euros. Not much less than 20 euros. Let's just say 20 euros. And so, but a fabulous wine. It really is. This bottle is for sure not going to make it through the evening. It might not make it through the puzzle. So, the word of the day is mazurka. And I saw the word and I thought, now we're getting into something good. And I happen to be a real fan, if you will, or aficionado, perhaps just an admirer, maven, buff. I don't really know what you want to put it there. Don't like fan because that's kind of a short form fanatic, and that's certainly not that at all. But mazurka, being someone who takes music pretty seriously, especially classical music, jazz, etc. Frédéric Chopin did a number of opuses, and no, there's no way to turn opus into opie. I just wouldn't work, so we can't start a movement on that one. But he did a number of opuses. I want to say 50 of them at least. Actually, I think there's more than that. There might be 60. I can't say for sure. Did a lot of opuses focused on the mazurka, and it is just a lovely Polish dance with a moderately quick triple meter. Yeah, Mozart dabbled in this as well. What a fabulous word for the day. I don't know the last time I saw it in a crossword, if I did, and if I did, it may have been a New Yorker. Maybe, I don't know. I can't look up stuff. I don't have the ability, at least I don't know how to look up how many words entries have been in the New York Times. So, and it's not important, but it is a great word, and I thought this was the word, right, for the day, and especially when you think of all of the incredible talent over the centuries that have basically written to this style of dance, and so just remarkable. And I think in history, today was the day in 1620 that the Mayflower left Plymouth Port, England, on its way for the New World. And I started thinking about that manifest. I know there was a lot of ugliness that happened on that boat, and people dying, getting sick, and all just horrible conditions, rats and stuff, and just, whatever, starvation, running out of water, whatever, ran out of beer. I'm not sure. I remember it was something like that. But you look at that manifest of the people that lived on that journey, and boy, there's a lot of New England Brahmin in that list, is there not? Right? You know, I mean, there was a Gore on that boat. There was a Bush. I'm sure there was a Carey. I don't know. I mean, you just go down the line, right? You know, there's some pretty impressive names there. So. That is a historical thing that would be, I don't know, it's kind of par for our course here today, right? Especially considering expats, immigrants, people moving around trying to find a new home, a new place to start. It's, you know, it's still relevant, isn't it? So, hey, let's hop into our grid and see what we've got for the day. It's a Tuesday, and you never know with these days. Sometimes, we just had a couple of Tuesdays recently that were like, wow, that was a Tuesday? That felt more like a Thursday. Without the rebuy, you know, kind of a thing. See, I got rebuy in. That was good. But we got a Jonathan Daly construction, which is good to see, edited by, of course, the amazing Will Shorts. Who was that supposed to be? The amazing, what was that all about? The amazing Will Shorts. Let's hop in there, grid, and see what we got. So, relatives informally, what do you think? Maybe kin, maybe fam story with a moral. Yeah, we got a fable here. Orinoco Flow, Sail Away. I was first introduced to Enya with this song, I think in 1988, maybe 1989, but I heard it at a friend's house, and I was like, oh, I gotta have that cassette, because, you know, I mean, it was cassettes at the time. So I remember making a trip to Musicland or Sound Warehouse or one of those places, and I got it. I got the Orinoco Flow. And I just had that until recently. I think I chucked it because it was all beat up, but, you know, it was a good album. Sidewalk writing medium. I'm going to go with chalk on this one. We weren't allowed to do that when I was a kid. I don't think. Maybe we were. Maybe I just wasn't. Science fiction princess could be Leia. Sunrise direction. Look to the east. Except for you, Fievel. I want you to go west. Go west. Task for a locksmith. Okay, so I don't know, clearly. But I'm going to put a key in here because it seems like something that a locksmith might have something to do with. And Sol and Sorrento would be Kias. A farm mother could be a you. You know, they would just simply call her Ma. Okay, if I remember while I'm editing, I'm going to throw in the laugh track on that one. That would have been funny. Just saying. Okay. Motion of receding waves. I'm not going to probably remember, but if I do. Motion of receding waves. Are we looking for backwash here? Because when I see that, I'm thinking of those kids that take a sip of your Coke and you know they put more back in that bottle than they took out of it, right? You know, like that's backwash to me. That's I can barely even talk about it. And I've been to combat, and I don't like talking about backwash. And my wife's a friggin', I mean, she's a nurse, a registered nurse, a highly educated one too. And she doesn't even want to talk about, I don't know, sputum or anything like that. Anything to do with phlegm, she's like, I'm out, you know. We have our peccadillos. He's just not that into you. Okay. I've never seen it, but it seems like I've seen it in the grid a bunch. Miss Havisham's award in Great Expectations, and I think that was Estella. If I'm wrong, you cannot laugh though, because see, I read Great Expectations. I read Great X in last time in 1992. So it's been a while. Rear in the boat. We'll go with aft. Behind. We were just doing a lot going on with this Londonderry air here today, aren't we? Let's see. Behind could be late, maybe. Levi's alternative. Maybe Lee jeans. Bottom of the ocean, seafloor. Okay, I feel comfortable that we have done enough checking. I'm going to try to go against everything that I always do. I'm going to try to stay in some kind of order now. So bold poker bet would be an all-in, I assume. Maybe? Relatives informally. Okay, fam. Yes. Okay, we kind of figured that out just now. Pub, pint full could be ale. And I feel like, yep, there we go. Hiccups coming. Strangest thing. I've always had them right after dinner. It's strange. High status American Express offering. I'm assuming we're talking about the black card. And let's see, substantial could be meaty, thin and graceful. That's how I like to see myself. A lithe individual. Thin and graceful. At one time, one of our viewers, I don't know, probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, we've been doing this for a while now, said that I was the Bob Ross of crosswords. And that I haven't heard since. But that was a great day for me. I'm like, oh yeah, and if I just had that wonderful fro, I'd be so happy. I would, with that hair, I would be quite happy. So a long green veggie could be a cuke. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. I mean, full disclosure. Have I ever not been? No, I haven't. I'm always like, here it is. Here's the dirt. But is there a difference between a cuke and a cucumber? I mean, I'm assuming there's not, or we wouldn't have called it a veggie, right? You know, it would have been a long green vegetable, right? You know, so we got the veggie in. I'm thinking like whatever. But then I feel like I'm seeing cuke more and more often, and I'm wondering if it's a slightly different variety of cucumber, or if it's just we're just too lazy to say cucumber, and we just want to go cuke. Makes me wonder. And I wonder, but I don't know, am I going to actually take the time to look it up later? Probably, actually, yeah. Curved path could be an arc, or a great, epic, hero's, tragic storyline. Carved bit of jewelry. You think maybe a cameo? Those are carved. Unless they're pressed. Wall Street credential. How about an MBA? And we got the Urban Dictionary. And premature would be early. And next to bat would be on deck. All right. And I'm not kidding you. I met A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, 10 years ago or so. Can't remember what it was. Something, maybe military. I'm not quite sure. He was there signing something. I don't know. Talked to him for a few minutes. Next thing you know, I was friends with him on Facebook. Still am. I mean, like, seriously. And he's got all he's got is followers now. But at the time, we became friends on Facebook. Might have been longer than that. Anyway, 2010 maybe? Something like that maybe? I don't know. Revolutionary Trotsky. Oh, Leon. Non's opposite. Oh, non. So no for the French. I mean, that would be a oui. Okay. And so I'm going to go task for a locksmith as key cutting. As long as we're not cheese cutting, it's fine. Aromas, maybe scents. And destiny, could be kismet. It's one of those words, I'm glad we had the sense in there already, because I'm used to it being either a Z or an S, especially living here in Europe, and I'm just saying, so you never really know. Cable initials for cinephiles, the movie channel, I guess. Don't forget, though, there's a TCM, too. That's Turner Classic Movies, and that's a good one, too, and it's also good for cinephiles, so it's just an FYI. But it's almost all old, and that's great when you want to watch something. When you read a Hemingway book and you're like, I love The Sun Also Rises. I want to reread that again, and I want to watch the movie again too. Well, you're gonna find that on Turner Classic Movies for free. Office paper fastener. I'm gonna go with a clip here. Well, what a fun puzzle. We got some fun, lively little gate happening, some fun words. It's really nice, clever stuff going on, regardless of the fact that it's a Tuesday and thereby on the simpler side, but a wonderful grid, and it's just very, very cleverly constructed. Well done, Jonathan Daly. Figure out. Okay, we can't get sus in there, so let's see. Elf's foe. Okay, going Tolkien on this one. We go orc. And this would tell me that We're going to figure it out. We're referring to what we do here in the wind down community, right? We solve. Now, let's just hope I'm right, because I made a big deal out of that. Scraping by. How about eking by? Okay. Good. So far, I'm saving some face. Please be a V. Fashion house named for its founder, Signor Garvani. And I think this is Valentino. And let's see. Frog sound. Whew, well, that made me nervous too. CR blank AK. Like, what did I do wrong? But no, I think we got croak here. And cause of food poisoning for short. A cause of food poisoning for short. E. coli. A shopper, not a buyer. Informally. Looks like we got ourselves a looky-loo. Looky-loo. All right, and Lenin's love. How about Ono? Por favor. And rodeo rope could be a lasso or riata. And leather varietals could be called latigo. So, just saying. But I've ridden a few bulls in my life. Believe it or not, I have. Not bad, but not great. 3 letters, meh. No, 4, going with so-so. And theater employee could be an usher. And, you know, I always tell people, like, look, I mean, I'm happy to come to your wedding. And if you want me to stand up there with you on the stage or whatever you're doing, I'm glad to do it. I'll do that. But really, what I'd like to do is just sit in the audience and watch you get married. And, I don't know, pretend to cry. I'll dab my eyes or something. And I'll do that. I'll do that for you. But don't ask me to be the usher, please. You sure you got like 14-year-olds in your family that can do that? I mean, just don't be the usher. Big Mac meal with a Coke as an example. How about an order? And floppy part of a beagle, I'm assuming an ear. I mean, it could be a royal wedding, and I feel the same way. Like, really, can't I just sit on like the folding chairs? Well, the royal wedding would probably be gold chairs out there. I'm just saying, no, not the usher. Don't do that to me, please. Highway could be a route. Sealy competitor could be Serta. And Chicago Airport. How about O'Hare? I don't think we're talking about Midway today. Ride from an airport, maybe. I'm trying to get transport in there somehow. Okay. Maybe Uber. And citrus drink suffix could be an aid. Place to park could be a lot. And so train conductor's cry or a hint to each word in the answers to the starred clues. So I think this would be all aboard. And actress Pompeo of Grey's Anatomy. I will never know this, and I feel like I should know. But I just don't know. I don't know. Product of meat scraps that, despite its name, is dairy-free. Looks like this might be cheese. It could be cheese anyway. Se habla español. Highly skilled could be adept. Southern drawl, for example. Okay, well, yeah, I don't think we're talking about patois here. I'm assuming that adept is correct. So let's go with an accent. And strung along, maybe led on. Yeah, we got a good part. This is a good part. This is great. Republicans for short. GOP. Okay, got it. And a shade akin to cream could be a beige. Licorice flavored spice. We're just talking about this in this wine. I thought I had anise going in here first, but it turns out I think it's more of a eucalyptus, and now I can't wait to verify my thoughts. But that's eucalyptus. I'm fairly certain. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm half koala. I should know. Licorice flavored spice. Yeah, I think it's anise seed. Donkey could be an ass, which is what I was thinking. was in the back of the boat. I don't know where that came from. Spanish article, we'll go with una, and we'll check ourselves real quick. Mooch as a cigarette could beat the bum. Miso is our Japanese soup flavoring, so rejected could be cast aside. And yes, we've got head cheese here. I actually like this stuff. I don't think I ever would have liked this stuff just from its appearance. But I had it in England when I was there. When I was in the Army, I was there. We were training there for a while, and I remember they brought it out as part of the kit for when you were eating in the field and they didn't bring out the officer's mess in the tent. Hated when they didn't do that. But it is what it is. Chicago airport code, that would be ORD. O'Hare, again, so we had a little bit of a double going on there. Drinking aids could be straws. Owl's question could be, got it. Monk's hood is, generally speaking, a cowl. So, actress Pompeo, I still don't know. I don't know, and I should know. Waste that's been flushed, and it's sewage. So, opposite of delete could be to enter. And I guess this is Ellen Pompeo. Okay, I gotta make a note to look up Ellen Pompeo. Rock with a crystal-filled cavity is, generally speaking, a geode. So let's take a look at how we did. Hope we didn't fat finger it. How'd we do, Bob? Okay, so let's see if we can figure out this, what's going on here. So we've got all aboard. That's our hint. So we got a blackboard, cardboard, keyboard, cutting board, backboard, washboard, seaboard, floorboard, headboard, cheese board. Very nice. And I did make a joke about cutting the cheese, and it made it in here anyway. What are the odds? Not that high, I don't think. I mean, I was also talking about something I felt was a knees like in this one, and I was a little off with eucalyptus, but I just don't think I'd ever encountered eucalyptus on the nose or the palate before. So, what a fantastic grid, Jonathan Daly. This is just beautiful. I mean, for a Tuesday, out of this world. Wasn't a lot that was just making you just scratch your head to the point that you've caused yourself, I don't know, lesions or anything. But it was just so cleverly constructed, so well clued. The clues were really good in this. This is the kind of grid on a Tuesday that I would love to say that I constructed. And that's really that's the highest form of flattery I own within me. So I got to try to do a little bit of searching on Ellen Pompeo to at least know what her face is to her name. Maybe that'll help. And I got to certainly look up this whole cuke thing. And if the cuke is a separate type of cucumber, I want to know that. Otherwise, I want to know when it started getting, when we started just kind of contracting that down from a cucumber to a cuke. And it's kind of interesting to me. So yeah, let's just bring down our Bannière d'Adieu and we'll call it for the day. I want to say thank you to everybody for taking the time to like the puzzles. It's a pain, I get it. But boy, it sure does help me connect with more folks like you, which is always what I'm really after here. And to our new subscribers, welcome aboard. Leaving the office today, and I work on a government installation here in Germany, and I mean, we get awful cell service there, and I'm pretty busy at work too, so I don't have time to sit and look at a lot of personal anything really, ever. But the reality is that, and I was on my way home, I got notifications that I had, I think 2 or 3, 4, 7, I'm not sure, a lot of comments, and I want to get to those as soon as possible. So to everybody on YouTube and TikTok that takes the time to do that, thank you. It always makes my day, and I always get around to answering those when I'm getting these processing and uploading, and that's usually the best part of my day. So thank you also very much. Until we see you again next time, for the Hump Day grid tomorrow. Ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Be well. And and we will see you on the morrow. Until then, just remember, it's good to be nice to strangers. And, when they've got a really thick accent, it's kind of hard to understand what they're saying. Just remember, you're trying to understand someone who's got the heart of a lion. Bravery, valor. It takes guts to go to a new world and go to work and set up in a shop. New life. Cheers. Be well out there. Stay healthy. See you tomorrow.